Hi, my name is Steve Cavalaris for electricaltime.com. So I'm in a hotel room and we're going to be looking in our National Electrical Code, and I'm in the 2023 National Electrical Code. We're going to be looking at section 210.60 for hotel rooms, and we're going to be looking at the required number of receptacle outlets that we must have in a hotel room. And there's a couple of special things that we have to know about when we're installing receptacle outlets in a hotel room. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read to you the code, and if you've got your code book, now is a good time to maybe put the video on pause, and then we can go and read this together. Again, I'm going to be taking a look at 210.60, and that's called guest rooms, guest suites, dormitory units, and similar occupancies. And here's what it says. A, general. Guest rooms or guest suites in hotels or motels, sleeping rooms in dormitory units, and similar occupancies shall have receptacle outlets installed in accordance with 210.52A and D. And then it says, guest rooms or guest suites provided with permanent provisions for cooking shall have receptacle outlets installed in accordance with all of the applicable rules in 210.52. All right, so we're going to stop there for a second. So 210.60 is telling us, hey, go take a look at 210.52A and D. All right, so let's pause here for a second, and let's go take a look at 210.52A. And 210.52 is called dwelling unit receptacle outlets. I know this is not a dwelling unit, but it's telling us to go there so that we can count how many receptacle outlets that we actually need, okay? And I'm going to be looking at A, and it says general provisions. It says in every kitchen, family room, dining room, living room, parlor, library, den, sunroom, bedroom, recreation room, or similar room or area of a dwelling unit, receptacle outlets shall be installed in accordance with the general provisions specified in 210.52A1 through A4. All right, so A1 is called spacing. And what it says, receptacles shall be installed such that no point measured horizontally along the floor line of any wall space is more than 6 feet from a receptacle outlet. All right. A2 is called wall space, and that says, as used in this section, a wall space shall include the following. 1, any space 2 feet or more in width, including space measured around the corners and unbroken along the floor line by doorways and similar openings, fireplaces, stationary appliances, and fixed cabinets that do not have countertops or similar work surfaces. 2, the space occupied by fixed panels and walls excluding sliding panels. And then 3, the space afforded by fixed room dividers such as freestanding bar type counters or railings. We also have number 3. It's called floor receptacles. And what that is, we're allowed to have receptacle outlets installed in the floor, but they cannot be more than 18 inches away from the wall, all right? And then they would qualify as one of the required receptacle outlets. Again, that would be applicable if, let's say, this was a bedroom and the homeowner says, no, I don't want to have any receptacle outlets in the walls. I want them all in the floors. So, okay, well, you could put them in the floors or in the floor. You know, hopefully only have only have one floor in the bedroom, but they'd have to be no more than 18 inches away from the wall to qualify as one of those required receptacle outlets. And then we also have number 4, countertop and similar work surface receptacle outlets. All right, so we got no countertops or similar work surfaces here in this hotel room. So we're going to skip that. All right, so let's go back into 210.60. All right, and we're going to be looking at B. I know this is a lot of reading, but right after I'm done reading, I'm going to walk around the hotel room, and then we're going to go and figure out how many receptacle outlets are required, and we're going to make believe that this is a bedroom, and then we're going to apply the special rules of 210.60b, and that's called receptacle placement. And it says the total number of receptacle outlets. Again, it says the total number of receptacle outlets shall not be less than required in 210.52a, and we just read that. These receptacle outlets shall be permitted to be located conveniently. Okay, they're saying, hey, you can put them basically anywhere you want as long as they're convenient. Okay, so that's a big difference than in 210.52 about the required receptacle outlets. Let's say in the dwelling unit, well, we got that 6 foot, 12-foot rule. All right. So again, it says these receptacle outlets shall be permitted to be located conveniently for permanent furniture layout. Okay. So in a hotel room, it's very common, that the hotel rooms are basically set up all the same way. We got, the bed, we've got a desk, we might have another piece of furniture. And if you're installing receptacle outlets in a hotel room, you got to know what the layout is. All right. And I'll tell you why in a second, right? Really important. It says at least 2 receptacle outlets shall be readily accessible. Okay. That means you can't have anything in front of them. You have to be able to get those receptacle outlets nice and easy. They have to be there. They cannot be covered up by a piece of furniture or the bed or something else, right? And we'll go check that out in a few seconds when we walk around this hotel room. And then it says, where receptacles are installed behind the bed, the receptacle shall be located to prevent the bed from contacting any attachment plug that may be installed, or the receptacle shall be provided with a suitable guard. All right, so that's enough of the code book. I'm going to close it. All right, so let's go into the hotel room and let's check out what we got here as far as the receptacle outlets are concerned. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sort of, just make believe this is a bedroom, okay? So we're going to look at this space over here, this wall space. So here's the door. I'm going to look at the space from behind the door. Yes, I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to go out 6 feet. And that's going to be, I don't know, maybe about there, someplace. I'm going to look now where the other door is, and I'm going to go about 6 feet, and that's right about here someplace. So as far as I'm concerned, this wall here can be served by 1 receptacle outlet, right? And that could have been installed in the middle. So this way, from this receptacle over here, where 6 feet or less, and if that receptacle was there, would be 6 feet or less over there. Okay. So again, let's just make believe it's a bedroom for now, and let's look at the placement as though it's a bedroom, and then we're going to also be counting the receptacle outlets. So here we have another door over here, and let's go out 6 feet, which is about here someplace. And then let's look over here where the window is, and let's go around that little corner, and I would say another receptacle outlet right about here. So for this wall here, it looks like we can sort of get away with maybe 2 receptacle outlets. All right, so I got 1 over here, the second one, and the third one. So far I've got 3 receptacle outlets. So I'm going to start from over here from the window, and I'm going to go out 6 feet. Okay, let's say with that receptacle outlet, that's within 6 feet of that corner. Okay, now I got something called the 6 foot, 12-foot rule. And what is that? So if I go from this receptacle along this wall, let's say to this receptacle, and I did measure it before, it's about 12 feet between those receptacles, and that's okay. So let's say the bed wasn't here, right? And let's say we have a lamp that's over here. Let's say that lamp has a 6-foot cord. I should be able to take that lamp and plug it into that receptacle over there, and without moving the lamp, I should be able to plug it into that other receptacle over there. All right? So what the code says in 210.52a is that any point along the wall, within 6 feet, I should be able to find a receptacle outlet. All right, so we're over here, right? So now let's see if we could measure 12 feet. And let's see, I don't think we have quite 12 feet. But let's start over here now. And now let's measure 6 feet. And I'm going to come out to about here. So I'm going to need another receptacle outlet over here so that I'm within 6 feet of where that wall is starting, where that door is. All right? So we got 1, 2, 3. We had 4, 5, 6. 6 receptacle outlets. All right? So that's the first thing that we have to look at. Now, let's see how many are readily accessible. That looks like it's readily accessible to me. I don't have to bend over or crawl under something or use a portable ladder, so that's readily accessible. And then I'm going to say that this receptacle outlet, that's readily accessible. And again, you can look in your code book under Article 100 for the definition of accessible readily for readily accessible. And that one looks like it's readily accessible. So I'm counting a total of 3. I did forget something. I was watching the video and I said, oh, you know what? Let me add this at the end of the video. So when I was going around the room and we were doing our 6-foot, 12-foot rule, and I went to the window, remember I started at each, corner of the window. But underneath this window, we have a PTAC unit. That's a heating and air conditioning unit. And that's a fixed appliance. So in the 2023 National Electrical Code, it talks about excluding that space that's underneath this window. But let's say there's no PTAC unit there. And we have just a little wall, a little short wall that's underneath that window. Then guess what? Then that wall space is going to count as wall space. And when you're doing your 6-foot, 12-foot rule, you're going to include that. And quite often, you'll see in a home, again, let's go to a dwelling unit. You'll probably see a receptacle outlet, right underneath the window somewhere. And the common use for that could be a little portable window air conditioner. All right? But be careful when you do that, because maybe that air conditioner that you know about, maybe that might require its own dedicated branch circuit, and you might not want to use the general purpose receptacles, let's say for that bedroom in a dwelling unit, to also power up an air conditioner. All right, so for the electricians out there, make sure that when you're doing the rough-in work, ask the customer, hey, I see that you've got, your windows, the ones that slide up and down. Is it possible you're going to be putting in a window air conditioner? Oh yeah, we're going to be putting a window air conditioner in every bedroom. Well, you know what? Maybe you might want to consider putting a dedicated branch circuit for those window air conditioners, right? So make sure you ask those questions. All right, so hopefully you got some good information out of this video. I have a lot of fun doing them, and again, I do them for free on YouTube. It's just a way for me to say thank you for all the great people that helped me to become, who I am today as a master licensed electrician, as an electrical inspector, and now as an electrical instructor. And again, make sure you go to my website, electricaltime.com, and subscribe to those free NEC code questions and answers. And if you really would like to become, let's say, a licensed journeyman or a licensed master electrician, or maybe even an electrical inspector, like me, I do live NEC code classes. So I have a button on my website. It's called the NEC Code Classes. Just click on that, send me your information. I'll call you, and then I'll see if I can get you into one of our classes so you can try out one of our classes to see if it's for you. Again, thanks for watching this video, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you very much.